Hey guys, welcome to Raja Makes Money. How are all my money makers doing today? And wow, what another beatdown in the markets today. What happened? Everything down except CCIV was up. A miracle. Everything's down except CCIV squeaked out 14 cents today. I'm still down today, but I got some hedges in place and I have got a guaranteed $75,000 profit tomorrow. No matter what, on this trade, on these two trades, I'm going to make $75,000 no matter what. So, and hopefully I make a lot more than that tomorrow, but we've got a guaranteed $75,000 trade on the table. Thank God we hedged it earlier in the week also and made that money. So it's helped ease the blow a little bit, but still, what a blow this week for everyone. So it's going to be crazy and stuff. But hey, let's get right into it and welcome all our new subscribers on YouTube and all our new followers on Facebook. Yesterday, we had a record audience watching. So thank you guys, everyone who's been sharing it, telling all their friends about Raja Makes Money, and everyone. We couldn't have done it without you. So continue to grow, and I just can't thank you guys enough. But let's get right into it. So this is where we are at for the day. We finished down $164,000. So interesting facts today. At one point today, I was up $22,000. And at one point today, I was down $540,000. As you can imagine, that's when CCIV was around $21.75. That they're near its low of the day, or $21.40, whatever it was. So the night, actually for me, it was a great recovery day. We're still up $500,000 for the year, still a 10% return, which is pretty impressive. And the reason I say that is because if you look at the Dow, and futures are already down again. But if you look at the markets today, the Dow and the Nasdaq and everything have gone negative year to date. So for the year, these are all in the negative now. So if you were playing the Dow and the indexes and all this stuff, you're actually down for the year. So for us to be up for the year is actually a pretty good still. So, but overall, I'm not that worried. So let me show you guys what I did. I did some hedging on CCIV, and you can do this on any stock. I also even did it on IDEX today. I figured, you know what? Some of these we're going to have to ride out. Let's see what happens with them. So CCIV, we had those originally. Remember, I sold those 40s for $1, and we bought them back for like 10 cents. So we made on 60,000 shares. We made like $54,000 or something, I think. But then I had also sold these 32.5s, the 30s, and now I have these 26. At one point today, these were actually, even right now, the $25 one, we're actually lopsided by 18,000. But I can tell you two things. This right here, this 67.5 and this 8600, no matter what, tomorrow, we make $75,000 off of that trade. Because if my goal tomorrow, I would love CCIV tomorrow to close at $26. We keep that $75,000. Plus we have an extra, $70,000 in upside. We'd actually get back about, if CCIV tomorrow was at $26, we would pick up about $180,000 tomorrow off of that CCIV, and we would be completely out of it. Done with it for now. Doesn't mean we won't play it again. Doesn't mean we won't do something different, but that's where the money is. And what I've done is I've hedged it. Obviously we have a huge loss on it. I mean, from where we started with it, but sometimes you have to cut your losses and move on to the next great thing. Also, these with the market turmoil, and we'll talk about that, here in a little bit. You also with this inflation and yields and everything, and I'll explain all that to you guys. There's a lot of stuff going on. But like I said, I'm very impressed that CCIV stayed up today and came back. I mean, it was up even a point at one time. After hours, it was up. Now it's down a little bit. But so honestly, if it stays in this $25 range, above 25, we definitely have 1,000 of these contracts. And then the other 200 contracts, which would be 20,000 more shares, we need the stock above 26. But if we can get out of it, if we don't get out of it, no matter what, we make $75,000 tomorrow. So as long as CCIV doesn't drop more than about 70 cents tomorrow, we would break even. And then I would write the 25s again. Honestly, from shopping the market and looking at shopping premiums on different stuff and different plays to make, and if this market does crash, I think CCIV has a lot of support at this $24, $25 level. It showed that it bounced off that 21, and especially in a down day, that was pretty impressive. Just because, a lot of stuff didn't bounce off. The market obviously bounced off this, when it was down 700 points almost, but a lot of stuff didn't. So it was actually pretty impressive what it did. Rest of the stuff, IDX, we got pounded on again today. But I did sell the 35s. I figured it's 2 weeks left now, or 2 weeks in a day. Let's take in some money, $34,000. At least we'll get a little bit out of it. And honestly, if in 2 weeks it's above $30, $3.50, that would be about 70 cents more. That would be another $100,000. I would be happy. I would love in 2 weeks to be called that an IDEX. It means that we made basically $140,000 more. SVAC, they're in that quiet period. Hopefully this thing comes back to life. This one, Jaguar, I have no idea. I've been asking Jeff Schwartz. This was Jeff Schwartz, hot stock pick. He said this one, $5, $10, $20. I don't know. Jeff Schwartz is in the chat. I don't know. He said this Jaguar is the one. So I don't know what's going on with it. Actually, this was a SPAC play. It's run a couple of times. Last week this thing was $3.50 again. I don't know why this thing just keeps tanking. Nobody knows. So hopefully, I've debated averaging down in this one. Even if I bought 20,000 more shares at $1.60 right now, if it comes back, you can, get your averages down, but still it's way off. CTYX actually overall today actually wasn't that bad. It held in there, was up or even almost at 19 cents most of the day, and then came down a little at the end of the day. NW Biotherapeutics down. Ambio had good earnings. Everything looks positive. Unfortunately, the earnings only lifted at 13 cents in a down day. I'm sure if it was an up day, maybe it would have been up 20 cents. But yeah, it didn't unfortunately do well. This one here, we just blasted in this electric motorcycle. We've averaged down 4 times. I'll probably buy another 200,000 shares just because it's so cheap, just to, try and get the average down, maybe buy 400,000 shares of it. This is another one, if it comes back to life. But like I've told you guys, when your big markets, when your Dow, your Nasdaq tank, everything else is going to go down, because this is where people get margin calls and they get called out. OZOP, here's another one. I don't know, probably maybe take a gamble at another 100,000 shares of this, looking for a pop. This one, we made a lot of money on the upside on these, but just getting hammered with the market. People just sell this stuff off. Same thing with Asia Broadband. This is another one. It's cheap, to gamble and buy another 100,000 shares of it. Some of this stuff, it's worth taking the gamble on. Some of the stuff, probably not. I don't know. We have losses. We're still up overall for the year, which is terrific. Hopefully tomorrow we can get back $150,000, $200,000, with this CCIV if we get called out. Otherwise, we'll ride it into next week and try and make $200,000-$300,000. But I will say, now that Schwab and a lot of these, not just Schwab, but a lot of these trading firms have changed all the rules and everything, it's going to be tough to, on one hand, what they did, thank God, because, honestly, if we would have had, let's say CCIV was still leverageable where it was before, who God knows, we could have had, a million. We had 1.7 million contracts outstanding at one time. We could have lost $5 million. It could have been a bloodbath. So some of the stuff makes sense that they've done in these places to protect us. Some of it doesn't. Life Clips. The good news is this is the hot one that at 10 cents, 11 cents, the research team loved. Kenny has just confirmed this is a buy. He says at 4 cents, it's a buy. If it goes to 2 cents, buy even more. If it goes to a penny, just keep buying. You can't lose on this one. This one is going to rocket ship. So the research team loves this one. They're all over it. Any questions? All my Patreon members, and welcome all our Patreon members and all the new ones this month. You guys have access to our private Facebook group. Plus, you get all my trades in real time. Always remember, this channel is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing in the market. But in the private Facebook group, you guys have access to Kenny and the research team, and you guys can ask him anything, and he will give you any answer you would like to hear about it. Now, he'll research it. He'll tell you what he thinks about it. And he has a lot of stuff that I'm not playing that the research team comes up with that he talks about, and and some of it's done okay. So just let him know if there's any questions, any of this stuff. But Live Clips, they like. It was almost at that, or it was at that penny 1.1. Now at 4/10 of a penny, 2/10 of a penny, they love this thing. This could be the best one. This could be their hottest pick of the year. Unfortunately, if the Dow and Nasdaq continue to crash, these are not going to go up. And we're going to talk about why is the Dow and the Nasdaq all crashing, and pretty much the rest of the stuff all down today. Not a whole lot else to really say about it. Just a bad market day. Forest Road acquisition. So this one was interesting. This one actually got up to $12 today. This one popped for a little while and then came back down and stuff. And I don't know. Some people, I looked on the message boards because I was like, why did this thing go up today? Like, is the deal coming or something? This one I think has a lot of potential. I honestly, tomorrow I may buy or sell another 200 contracts because it's cheap. It has a good premium. And if this stock goes back to $13, I'm going to come out, way ahead and, with a profit or all my money back. So this one has a lot of potential and can definitely move in the next 2 weeks before it expires. Here's all the trades I made today. CCIV, I sold 500 contracts, and I had some in earlier that, it was just moving. And then when it started coming all the way down, I said, you know what, I want to take some money off the table here and hedge this a little bit. And I'm happy at $25 to get out of it right now. Because like I said, I'd rather free up the cash and have money to do some stuff. Because if everything works out, if CCIV is above $25 tomorrow, we're back. We have $700,000 in profit for the year. And I have, $3 million freed up to, look at other deals to buy, especially if the market continues to go down. I'm guessing after 2 days of the market crashing that we're going to see something go up, or if it does, get weak tomorrow, we'll probably have a strong start with a Monday. But I mean, even Apple under 120, today, just crazy stuff. Tesla, like I told you guys, Tesla's going to come down in the 500s. Just so basically just some call adjustments. Bought back some of this to 30s, at 18 cents, 17 cents. Because they're worthless. Let's just sell, get the money out of this thing, get as much as we can, and move on. And then IDX, we did the contracts today, 1,800 of them just to hedge that. Figured take some money, and at least we got some chips off the table, and it's guaranteed money, or we get a guaranteed fill. So let's talk about it. So the Dow, this is the big thing going on today. Dow falls more than 300 points as Powell fails to ease rate fears. Nasdaq goes negative of the year. So everybody's been asking me, what does all this inflation mean? What does all this mean? How does this all work? Why couldn't Powell have just said this or that? Well, let me try and explain this all to you guys. So I'll put this out here so everybody can understand. So I did this so you guys would see. So what is inflation? How does this all work? So when inflation increases, purchasing power declines, and each dollar can buy fewer goods and services, similar to the way interest rates impact the price of bonds. When rates rise, bond prices fall with the dividends and different stuff. So what does all this mean? And this is also very interesting because you have all these reopening trades, you have all this stuff. Our economy is really, really strong, and it's coming back stronger, than before. So you have to look at all that and why it's. So let's look at it like this. So Apple. I don't think Apple is heavily affected because they're not borrowing any money. Now, I do know they do actually borrow money for tax write-offs. They do some weird stuff like that, but they have $192 billion, $194 billion in cash in the bank. They obviously don't need to borrow money, or they're borrowing, against themselves, or who knows what they're doing. But they are a company that does pay a dividend, so it could affect them. But if they're having record sales and their sales are booming, so it's very confusing why any of this is affecting stuff. If you're Shake Shack and you're selling more food than ever, and you have inside dining open up across the country and everything's back to normal, your revenue is going to skyrocket. You're going to make more money. Obviously, inflation shouldn't really affect you. So it's very interesting where people are getting all worried about this stuff because, in my opinion, it shouldn't really affect the market. Powell was kind of stuck in limbo today as to what he could or couldn't say. It really doesn't matter what he said. I mean, basically he said, we're not going to do anything yet. We're keeping an eye on it. But he also said we could have an inflation problem. So, he really didn't have a winning answer, unfortunately. There wasn't any one way that, everybody could have made money with, or could have, done something with it. So it's definitely a weird situation, but that's how this inflation stuff plays into everything. Like I said, It doesn't really matter what the guy said today. I don't think there was really a winning answer. And I honestly don't understand why it's really affecting the market as heavily as it is, because it shouldn't, because these companies are, I mean, Apple, okay, at one point, Apple had 100% of its stores closed, especially in the US. Apple has 100% of its stores in the United States back open. Retail sales are coming in strong. That's all back open again. A few of their stores, you still have to have an appointment only, but they're back. They're like, they're selling more product out of their stores. They're going to keep selling more product. More people are using their products. It's very interesting how the markets see these things. So, but just like I said, a bloodbath overall. If we look at the futures, pretty much flat. They've been up, they've been down all around. Now, CCIV was up. It's down a little bit for tomorrow, so it'll be interesting. These are some other interesting things you always want to watch, like Bitcoin. When that starts coming down, which is interesting, it didn't come down more with the markets down, and it came down more when the market was down more. The other thing too with the markets is gold. Gold is coming way down. This first time gold's been back in the 1600s in a long time. This is also an inflation fears. And I don't know, like I said, that's why I wanted to show you guys what, the inflation definition was and what it all meant, because at the end of the day, a lot of it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and stuff. Also, people have been asking a lot about the SPACs. There's all these SPACs. I think there's like, 63 SPACs or 100, I don't know, some crazy amount of SPACs. So a lot of the SPACs, a lot of them had 6-month tie-ups that are starting to free up. That should be good. Some of the SPACs have done really well. Some of them haven't. The SPACs, if you guys don't know, those are the blank check companies like CCIV. Unfortunately, CCIV and the deal that they struck with Lucid Motors, they didn't strike the valuation that everybody expected, and that's why it came down. And then there's a $15 pipe, but the pipe people are tied up for 18 months. So what that means is you can't do anything. Those people who buy in at $15, which probably have to be an institution, not me and you or individuals, but they're tied up for 18 months in what they can do. So, no matter what, CCIV has a base of about $15. But I think retail-wise, I think that 24, 25, it's where it's at. If the market does bounce back or goes up strongly, you're going to see CCIV probably go to $30, 32. I don't think it has a very much opportunity until there's a deal closing to get back to the 40s or 50s or 60s. But it does have the potential to get back to the 30s, especially low 30s if the market comes back strong. The question is the market going to drop, below where it's at in this inflation fears, or is the market, it's just a little road, a little bump in the road and everything's going to be back to normal? Nobody can for sure say. We have a very strong economy. We have a new stimulus. And also, what is, do we need the stimulus? Like we talked about a little bit yesterday. If we give out the stimulus to everybody now, you're going to have, everybody getting this 12 million more people to get $1,400 and, people back to work and stuff. And we still have to face the fact that in September, we're going to have a real estate crisis. Somebody at the end of the day is going to have a crisis because they haven't been getting paid rent. They haven't been getting paid mortgage payments. They haven't been getting, somewhere we're going to have a collapse in the residential marketplace. And that is the one that's really going to be a problem. So let's take some comments from people. Chris says, CNBC creates fear and panic, including Kramer. As low as rates are, the market is overreacting and they CNBC fuel the fire. So one is, news agencies, just like, CNBC, CNN, all of them, they all have the people they like, they don't like. They obviously, they're news agencies, they want to create havoc because that's what gets people, to watch and do stuff. But I don't think that they're making comments to, fuel a fire. They're just reporting the news. And I mean, if you've watched CNBC for years, this is what happens. Market's up this morning. Everything's looking great. Great day. Market goes down. All of a sudden, we told you the market was overbought. It was this. It's just like watching a football game, whatever team's, winning. Oh, they're playing incredible. All of a sudden that team starts losing. They should have done this. They should have done that. Then all of a sudden the team's winning again. We knew they were going to come back. A second ago, they said, it was over with for them. News agencies are just going to report whatever makes them feel good. Unknown Prodigy, $5 super chat. For fun, invest $1,000 in this index. Rukan Rahaja, TBK, the ticker symbol, index symbol, Raja. There you go. That would be fun just to see. And Raja batteries. That's the only one that comes up when I type in the symbol Raja. $919 a share. Amara, or is that the I'm not finding that one, but I found this one here of India. Amara Raja batteries, $919. I'm putting out a buy. The research team has just notified me. The research team just notified me this is a hot buy. Honestly, look at this. It's up. This one's actually doing really good. Let's look at the 1 month chart on this thing. Wow, been up to 980. This one must be getting taken advantage of in the electric vehicle market. Limited is a manufacturer of lead acid storage batteries for industrial and automotive applications in India. We're calling for a buy on this one. If you like this one, this is a strong buy. The research team will have a full report in the morning. Make sure you check it out. But it'll be interesting going forward how the market reacts. If I was guessing, I think tomorrow we could see a little sell-off, some profit take, or some people, because when what happens is everybody gets worried about this stuff, and once they get worried, it just turns into chaos and it goes downhill faster, and people start selling, and then all of a sudden somebody says, "Wait a second, why did we all sell? Well, there's nothing. It's not that bad." There's lines everywhere at the stores. People are doing stuff, and you have to keep looking at it and stuff. So Jeff Schwartz in the house. That's the guy we have to give 100% credit to for Jaguar and BNGO at $15 a share. Nah, just kidding, Jeff. But welcome, Jeff, and also our first Patreon member. And all you guys can join our Patreon. Love to have you. Just go to patreon.com. Raja Makes Money to join us. So I started a new position in Buzz ETF, kind of a meme stock mix. So, one thing you got to be real careful of, and this Buzz and Dave Portoni of, he's the guy from, Barstool Sports and stuff. And these are like his favorite stocks or meme stocks. This is kind of a joke one. But it's interesting. And, you have to look at, these meme stocks. And here's what I've seen in the meme stocks is that these people have no backbone. They all jump on something. As soon as something goes bad, they all bail. And it's a 50-50 chance if they think if they'll get called back into it. If they do get called back into it, then they all jump on it again. It runs, and then it's done. Look at AMC, look at Express, look at BB. All of these are all back where they started, and especially if the big markets keep selling off, it's going to be a problem. Chaos says, so you think the margin calls are getting attacked right now? So this isn't. So first of all, pretty much all the meme stocks don't have margin any longer. The firms all stepped in and got rid of all that. Some of them I think are done, where they're going and stuff, and some may have some opportunity. But without margin, you don't have leverage. When people have leverage and you can buy 2 times as much stock, it makes a big difference. And if you do have a margin call, or you had to sell off, or they're getting a hold of you, or you don't, it affects things. And as they keep changing the requirements, it makes stuff harder. But at some point in life, people are going to go back to normal, or these brokerage firms are going to give margin away. Because think about this, margin makes a firm makes a lot of money on margin. When they're charging you, exuberant interest rates to borrow money to buy stock, they're making a lot of profit on that. If they're borrowing money at 1 or 2%, or they're just using money that's in their customers' accounts to let you go buy stock, and they're charging you, 15%, 18%. I don't even know what the margin interest rate is currently at the different firms, but it's just like a bank. They're making a lot of money on that. So it's definitely very interested. Congratulations, Shane, about over 200K worth of SPACs today. Some under $10, crazy. All have set mergers. GHIV, BRPA, HOL, BGAC. So I actually read something where I think 50% of the SPACs have actually gone down after their mergers. So definitely got to be aware of that and always be careful. Always make sure you guys, always do your own due diligence. Don't ever, trust what somebody tells you. Obviously there's common facts and there's common things, but always do your due diligence. If somebody tells you that Apple is, just is going to sell 1 billion phones this year, I would check that out. If somebody tells you that Apple makes a great phone and 5G is coming out, it's out, you can probably believe them and stuff. So, definitely interesting. James says, Raja, Shane, I am a SPAC king. James says, Raja, what do you think of NEO? So I didn't see NEO today. Now look at this, guys. CCIV down 50 cents after hours. The option market or the futures market just started coming down pretty heavily. Not sure why, but like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see a sell-off in the morning, and then a late day rally or something. You do have option contracts expiring tomorrow. It's not the monthly ones, mid-month, but you still do have stuff expiring. So it'd be interesting. It's weird. Everybody liked the market on Monday. I don't know why on Wednesday and Thursday everyone hates the market. Wants to blame Powell. Neo's back down today, and this is the one I've been obviously you want to look at earnings. I think this company, as we've said before, loses money. At least, if you're buying Tesla, you have a company that makes money. We don't know if he's making any money any longer based on his Bitcoin investment or how that will impact his earnings. But I called this one and I told you guys, I said Tesla is going to hit the 500s. I said this when Tesla was $800, 820s, 850s, this one's going to keep coming down. It broke. The P&E finally broke 1,000. This thing should be at a P&E 500. I wouldn't be surprised to see Tesla, now at $400. I hate saying that because we are invested in some of these like IDEX, ALYI, and some of these other companies that are related to electric vehicles or batteries and different stuff. But this whole area is way overvalued, and also CCIV. CCIV is a little bit different than Tesla because they don't even have a car out yet. But it's definitely going to be interesting where all this stuff falls and stuff. What do you think of TBJ, the big jackpot? I love it. Buy all you can when it goes public. So. All right, next question. Shane, 90% of SPACs go up after merger, not down. Look at QS, etc. So no, actually, I just read an article about 50% of them have actually gone down. I'd love sending an article where it says 90% went up. The Raja Index, so Apple, Jag. But actually, guys, I've been looking at Apple, and this is another one. Apple under 120. And this is interesting because look at the charts. Apple, when it did the split. Apple had it split, it was 125. So this stock is now down, where it split. This is right when it split, and then it ran and took off. But yeah, when it split, it was right at like 125. But I think it was split somewhere in here. Let's see here. Maybe the split was right in here. I don't know. So, yeah, right in here. Yeah, because it would have split in. We'll split at the same time as Tesla. I can't remember the exact date of it, but. It split right around the split. It was $500 a share, which equal 125 a share. It's been all over the place, but it definitely has a lot of support in this 110 to 120 range. And do you think Apple is worth less money now than it was 6 months ago? 5 months ago, they had record sales. They're going to have record sales. They're going to continue to grow. So you definitely want to take a look at that. What do you think about STPK? STPK. Star Peak Energy. I think it's down 8% today, so I can tell you about that one. Don't know anything about this one. Look at the 3-month chart. Just like the rest of the stuff, it's back to where it was. Basically, we've wiped out everything. We basically wasted December, January, February, running stocks all the way up, and we're back to where we started. So, like I said, there's gonna be a little rebuilding. I'm hoping to be out of CCIV this week. If not, we'll write some more contracts. We'll hedge it a little bit more, ride it out another week, and try and see where it goes with the market. But overall, like I said, if the market comes back, futures are dropping now. But if the market comes back, all this stuff's going to go up. If the market continues to go down, the OTCs tomorrow will lose another 10%. And if the market keeps going down, they'll lose another 10% and another 10%. So I am looking at stuff to average down in, but I'm not sure, where it is and everything. So Shane, hold on a second. I just want to love the show, by the way. The article is not 100% correct. I have been in SPACs before. Anyone knew what they were. I wouldn't buy any of the new SPACs, but many have set mergers in place, good mergers. And I 100% agree. SPACs are great, and they have been a great, and they're very popular, but a lot of the SPACs are way overvalued. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you how do I know, because look at it. Look at 3 of them that we are in right now that got crushed, which is CCIV, SVAC, and FRX, Forest Road Acquisition. So these are all 3. Forest Road, when we got into it, was around $15. SVAC was around 13 bucks, and CCIV has been anywhere between 20 and 60 bucks. So no, I mean, there's a lot of money in SPACs. They're great. But you need to be careful of them. And the other thing is you have to, remember that SPACs are only based on the valuations. And while, the other thing is that's a little different with a SPAC. They're not really looking out for the shareholder. They're not looking out for anyone but themselves and what the deal is they strike. CCIV, what did he really care? He doesn't, CCIV, he's going to make a set amount of money. And obviously he's going to have stock into the future that can make him more money and stuff. But what does he care if his stock goes down? I mean, excuse me. What does he care if his stock's 60 bucks or his stock's $25 right now? He's doing a deal at 15 bucks a share. So it doesn't really affect him. And he has X amount of shares he'll own in the deal. He's going to make a lot of money up front, with the deal and what they've already raised and probably in how it all works. But he doesn't, there's no incentive for him right now, long term, with whatever stock he has in the hold up period and stuff like that they own. There's an incentive for him, but there's no incentive. Honestly, for him, the stock running so hard made him have to negotiate harder with Lucid and pay a lot more for the company. If his stock would have been $12, $15, Lucid probably would have said, all right, so this is what it's worth. Lucid didn't go up in value, but Lucid said, you know what? These people love us. These people think we're the greatest thing to hit the world. So Lucid said, you know what? We're worth a lot more money. Your stock's 60 bucks a share. What do you mean you're going to give us $15? So a lot of this actually hurt the whole deal. But it is what it is. Doesn't really matter right now. But I'm just letting you guys know how some of these SPACs do work and make sure that people understand what they're getting into. Robert Lee, SPACs are valued at rumors until merger announcement. Very correct. But when the SPAC runs ahead of the merger, it definitely can cause a ruckus and stuff. So somebody says, what do you think of Sanders? Buy or sell from Smoke It Up? Should we buy or sell Sanders? In the comments below, let me know. I think we buy more Sanders. There's only one Sanders, and I wish we had more of them. So, but hey guys, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today for Raja Makes Money. I am going to give it my all tomorrow. I want to have one more day this week where we are in the green. I want to bring out the chicken for the final show this week. Like I said, and just to recap something here, we have one play for tomorrow, guaranteed $75,000 profit, no matter what. If CCIV is above $25 and $26, these all expire and they take our stock with them. And if CCIV is below $25 or $26, we keep the $75,000. Either way, we get $75,000 off of this play. So the good news is tomorrow, no matter what happens, we have $75,000 in the pocket. My goal is that CCIV is somewhere above 25. I'd love to see 26, but if it's above $25, we get that $75,000 plus on 120,000 more shares, we'd get another 70 cents or 66 cents. So that'd be another 70,000, so about 150 grand. And if it hit 26 on 20,000 shares, we'd have another 20 grand. So we could have $175,000 if CCIV did close above 26. Now, if it closes below, we keep the 75,000. A nice scenario would be CCIV closes at 24.75. So we pick up another 50, 60 grand. We pick up 75 grand here. And then we could buy these back for a couple of pennies and then sell next week's. The good news is with the stock moving so much right now is the volatility is way up on it. So this is what we were talking about. And honestly, if you look at the percentages, if I did have to hold, because I've been looking at Apple, I've been looking at different stuff and all the risk. And you look at it and you go into next week, if CCIV is right around that $25 mark tomorrow, those calls would be $2. I would love to sell 120,000 calls of CCIV. 1,200 calls of CCIV at $2. That would be $240,000 for next week. If the stock drops to 18 bucks, it's going to be a crappy week, but at least we got 240,000 out of it, and we'll be down 500,000. If the stock is above it, we basically keep $240,000. If the stock is 123, we break even. But I think it's actually a really good return on investment. If you take the fact on CCIV right now that we have for $2.9 million tied up, if we could return $240,000 on it next week, that's a 8% return. So it wouldn't be a bad play. We could also, if it was running, or you could look at, some higher strikes, but, then you run the risk of not getting called out. I personally, like I said, I like to reduce our position in CCIV. I also could look at maybe some at 25 and maybe some at 27, or something, or 28. Yeah, it just depends where the stock is, and that's kind of what we did last week early, where I sold those 40s at $1 when the stock was, at 29 or 30 bucks or something. Hindsight's 50-50. I would have known I would have sold the 25s at $9, and we would have made a ton of money this week, if we knew the stock was going to come so far down. So all different ways to play it, but there's not a lot else out there that we could shop that's going to make us that kind of return on our money for the week. And like I said, I think that CCIV is in a good holding pattern right now, and I think it has a lot of support at these levels. So tomorrow will be the big day to really tell us what's going on, how it looks in the marketplace. Obviously, right now, it's all of a sudden just got pounded, which makes no sense. Like, all of a sudden, the stock just crashed 3% after hours on very low volume. But why? No reasons. Nobody knows. S&P really isn't that much. Is Tesla down a bunch after hours more? Oh yeah, Tesla was down pretty heavily, so that could be why the whole industry, the whole area is getting hammered. But these are all the things you got to look at. These are all the things. Don't forget, guys, all of my Patreon members, you have access to the one and only Kenny and the research team. Take good care of him. He's got a wealth of knowledge. We all love Kenny. So excited to have Kenny in there, and talk to him, see what he thinks about stuff. Do you think AABB will move? Hopefully. I own a lot of it. I'd like to average down. This thing definitely can move, has the ability to move. What do you think about Sundial? We also still own Sundial. We have, we sell those. I know we have Naked still. Naked is the one down. Sundial, I don't know. We played that one. It went all the way up to like 260 or something. Now it's back down to $1. It keeps coming down. This is the same thing. These stocks, if the market, here's the thing. If the Dow's up, I can almost tell you this. If the Dow and the Nasdaq, or if the markets are up 2% tomorrow, all these will be up 10%. If the market goes down 2%, they'll all be down 10%. These are just going to move how the markets move, unless there's some specific news within stuff. Paul says, Raja, how come OTC market stocks aren't available for purchase on Webull? I just looked up Ali, not available. Others you mentioned in the past aren't available either. That would be a question for Webull. I don't know, unless they're not allowing you guys to buy OTC stocks now. The other thing, tomorrow we're going to announce the Webull winners. We have our 3 winners, and we have 3 lucky winners for tomorrow that all made money in the Webull challenge. Started with $100, so it'll be a lot of announcements. Also, guys, don't forget, Kenny loves these dips. The more the stuff drops, buy it, because it may go back up. But yeah, like I said, be careful, do your research, know what you're playing. And you know what, guys? Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for subscribing on YouTube. Thank you for following me on Facebook. Thank you, everyone who's been sharing our videos. And you know what? I'm going to pick someone who shares this video on Facebook, who are watching on Facebook Live right now. If you guys share our videos today, I'm going to have Brian look for a winner later on, and we're going to reward you with $100 for sharing our video today. So thank you to everyone who's been sharing and telling their friends about us. I can't thank you enough. And we had a record day of people watching yesterday, so it was very exciting. Today, great audience. Hopefully tomorrow we're in the green no matter what. I have one play that I'm making $75,000. We're going to make, no matter what, 75 grand tomorrow. So we have a nice little hedge. We'll see how the rest of the day goes. And that's what I got for you. You guys are the money makers. I hope you guys make lots of money tomorrow in the markets. Let's all make a lot of money tomorrow. Take care and have a great rest of your day.